Hi, Hannah.
Hello. Oh.
What are you going to do, Miss Feedback?
Well, that's the question, because we're supposed to do a little walk around tour, but this is my main computer versus...
So when it's time, just pop your other one on and then close that one out.
Okay.
That'll work. How's it going today?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good.
Is this a really nice cuss buck you're wearing?
It is, yes. My husband got me this one a couple of years ago. It was actually really sweet. We foster, and I'm Athabascan, but one of our foster boys is in UPF and grew up in a village. And so today he was eating breakfast when I walked by to, head to my truck or whatever. And he goes, "Whoa, you look so pretty, just like at home." Yeah, it was like, oh
my goodness. What a sweet thing to say.
I know, it was really sweet. Yeah, it was super cute.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't see my dad yet. My dad does not work for UAF, but I invited him. He's retired and lives in Oregon, and he likes to participate in as much as he can. So if anybody sees someone named Gary hop on, it's my dad.
I love that he wants to participate and learn. I think that's wonderful.
I know. I was like, yeah, Dad, be here. Yes, join. So I sent him the link. We'll see. He struggles, I think, a little bit with technology. So I don't know if he'll join, but he might. Hi, everyone in the chat box.
Oh, thank you, Jeannie, for coming in and covering for Marcia. We're really excited and appreciative of you being here.
My pleasure. I'll put information into the chat box when we get started about how to get information to me and what you need to do to be entered into the drawing.
Perfect.
Sounds
thank you.
perfect.
And about halfway through, I'll be able to move into the side apartment. But right now I'm here with my kiddos until my mom gets back home with the baby, and then I'll move to a more quiet location. So I'm going to keep myself on mute just in case there's any background noise. She's eating a gingerbread house.
This was my next question, so thank you.
That looks like a good lunch, girl. So we'll give it probably about 2 more minutes, maybe 3 more minutes before we start, just so if folks are running a few minutes behind, they've got a chance to hop on.
Hannah, I have a quick question for you before we get started.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there an age limit of volunteers? So like if I brought my kiddos to volunteer, is there something that we could do with our children?
Yeah, absolutely. We don't have an age limit, so per se, kids under 3, it's just, this is not an interesting thing for them, and that is hard to, handle. Our only rule around that is if kids are going to be left here on their own, that is 16 and up only. And then with that, there has to be parental consent form and good contact information, obviously. But if you're with your kids, no, we don't have an age limit. And it's super fun. There's a lot of cool things. We had a full-on princess wrap over Thanksgiving, which was, for me personally, very challenging, as I am not a 5-year-old girl, and I could not list off every princess that has ever existed rapid fire. But I said Princess Buttercup, and she's like, what? It's like, well, you'll know Princess Bride someday. So that's the kind of thing that we're doing around here with our younger volunteers, losing rap battles.
Awesome. Thank you, Hannah. Appreciate that. So I was just explaining to my daughter, Monica, more about.
Oh, Jennifer, you're on mute.
Oh, goodness gracious, my little finger. I was just explaining to my daughter, Monica, about Breadline, and she was like, I want to go there. So I just wanted to make sure that we could do something. So awesome.
I love it. It's a riot because a lot of what we're doing is just handing out things. So it's not like complicated for little fingers. It's pretty action packed, so people do stay fairly focused, even when they're on the younger side. But yeah, that's it. Bring your kids, absolutely. This is a safe place to do as such. But if they're being dropped off, that is 16 and up only. Yeah, good question.
All right, everybody. I think that we are going to get started. It's about 5 after. So welcome, everyone. I am so glad to see new folks joining us, and some of you amazing UAF employees who have attended more than one of these. This is our last workplace presentation with you guys, although I think we've discussed doing this next year. So I think that's pretty fantastic. My name is Sarah Canoy. I am the Development Director here at United Way of the Tanana Valley. Again, I feel like I just keep saying it, but it means so much to have each and every one of you joining us and wanting to learn about our partner agencies and what we do at the United Way and how you guys can help us meet our mission and help our agencies meet their mission. So welcome. Jennifer Luke is our interim executive director. I think she maybe wants to just say a quick hello.
Hello and welcome. We are so grateful that you guys are all participating and seeing the incredible impact that the United Way and our partner agencies such as Breadline have on our community. I do want to just draw attention to some amazing things that we were able to add on to the website, your donation about your donation page, where it talks a lot about the impact of our agencies as well as the impact of your dollars and your donations, and how our United Way partner agencies can take your donations and truly turn those into incredible services. So we are truly grateful for the opportunity to speak to anyone and everyone about the amazing and incredible impact that our agencies have, how bellies are full because of agencies such as Breadline. Services are rendered, housing, shelter, health services, childcare services. The list goes on. And it's truly because of donations and donors such as yourselves who want to give back in an impactful way to our community. And by doing that, you do through the United Way. And we can give those direct dollars to our partner agencies and ensure that those impacts are made and that lives are bettered and that our community is healthy and happy and that we do have a safe place for all here in our community. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jennifer. So Marcia is not with us today. Jeannie Phillips is with us. I don't know if you want to do a quick intro real quick.
Jeannie Phillips, I'm the assistant to the chancellor and just filling in for Marcia right now. And along with Carla, we'll pick up, try and fill the big shoes of Marcia on Thursday when we actually do our drawing. So in order to be eligible, you've done one thing that you need to do, and that's you're online right now. And then the second thing you need to do is donate. And we'll compile all that information and then figure out how we'll put them in a virtual spinner thing like they do in Vegas, and then we'll pull out some names on Thursday afternoon. So thank you for participating.
Thank you. So sorry, my dad is trying to join and I just got a text. He can't figure it out. So next before I forget, can you guys email, if you're here with UAF, email Jeannie your name so that you guys are entered in that you get that extra entry into the drawing for one Alaska Airlines ticket, please. So next I would like to introduce Hannah Hill. Hannah is the executive director of Breadline. And so Hannah, if you just want to give us a quick intro of yourself, that would be wonderful.
Sure. I'm Hannah, as the name says. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited to come and talk about the programs of the Breadline. I've been the executive director here for 3 years. I've been with the Breadline for some amount of time longer than that. I think 4.5, maybe 5 years. Uncertain at this point. So it's glad to be able to do this. I personally am really enjoying these Zoom meet and greets because I get to see a whole bunch of folks from one group. And yeah, look forward to talking to y'all in a little bit longer.
Thank you. And we are monitoring the chat box. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to pop them in, or you can just interrupt and ask away. So we're trying to kind of have both of those as an option. So next we are going to show our campaign video. Every year the United Way has a video that we put together and it kind of helps explain our agencies, why our agencies are important, why you guys as donors are important. So I am going to share that right now.
If ever there was a time to ensure support for our home community, it's now. Our neighbors, our friends, and our families depend on each other for help. Thankfully, this is what the interior of Alaska does best.
The United Way of the Tanana Valley is here helping families, organizations, and programs that directly influence your neighbors and friends. Our focus is on the health, education, and income of those around us, and we are uniquely positioned to be the conduit of support for the interior of Alaska.
Our goal this year is to raise $907 in 2020. That's $907,000 from 2,020 donors. These donations will help prop up the struggling sectors in our community through our local member agencies. If you've ever wanted to hear about the impact of the United Way on the Tanana Valley, then you need to hear the stories from our donors and our local member agencies that work alongside us.
I appreciate the United Way because I feel like our contributions, our efforts towards the United Way are staying here locally. And that's important to me. I like to see the real effects. And I know it's true because I see these people working in our community and delivering services. I think United Way has a really important role because of the fact that there's a structure that is overseeing all these organizations. One thing that I can't do as an individual or it's difficult to do, is vet. Is this a good contribution to do? Is this a good place to go? How much do they need? What is the right value of the resource to spread it around? That's a real comforting thing for me. There's other people that are in that business, in that know, in that opportunity that can make those choices. I don't have to decide which organizations to give to. I don't have to place a value on what the organization's missions are. The United Way does that for me.
We feel that we have to be a good community partner. We want to support those people in the community who need help. And the best way we see to do that is with the United Way. I think the need is only going to get greater. It's not going to get less. And I think that things are going to morph. I would hate to see what this state would look like if we didn't have these organizations working for the betterment for all of us. It's amazing to see all the nonprofits work together and to everyone's benefit. Whether you're using the services or not, you're being benefited by those services because there's somebody that maybe works for you that is taking advantage of those services, somebody that you go to church with, that you see in the grocery store, your neighbors. There are people that are being impacted by nonprofits in our community, and that helps all of us, whether it's a direct touch or not.
These are just a few reasons why individuals like myself and organizations like Golden Valley give to the United Way of the Tanana Valley. A stronger, better community is a goal all of us seek to achieve.
For a small nonprofit like us, we don't have a marketing team. There's no way for us to talk to people outside of the people who already know about our services. If you don't need a soup kitchen, you may not know what we do. The United Way is allowing us to talk to more of Fairbanks and to be able to get our mission out to a much broader population. We're excited for this because it means that we're able to do our work and talk about that work to Fairbanks. Because funds from the United Way are unrestricted, it allows us to have more flexibility and deepen the service that we provide here at the Breadline. We're very excited to be part of the United Way. It's flattering in a certain sense because you see everyone else who's involved in this organization, and to know that even an organization as small as us is included in the United Way family is really meaningful because it just shows us that our work is seen and that our work is valued.
I think during COVID is a time where we're all very worried about our families, about our agencies, about the services we might need. But personally, I've found that during times when I'm stressed and worried, actually finding things that I can do to help others is very soothing to the soul. You know, one of the things that is important to us as far as being a United Way partner agency, it's really not just about the funding that we get from United Way, it's about being partners with the other organizations. We get to understand the community in similar ways so that we can plan services around each other so that we're not duplicating. So it's really a lot more than just getting money from United Way. It's about being a true partner in meeting the needs of our community. And I'm glad we have United Way to help lead the way as we do that.
Our mission here in the interior is to provide a safe and supportive community for all. You know, the United Way funds for our agency is integral to what we do. While we are the recipients of some federal and state grants, each one of those grants doesn't pay all the bills. Because these are what we deem to be unrestricted funds, they don't come with a ton of strings that say you can only pay for these things. What we're able to do is the things that really make life meaningful, such as celebrating Christmas, making sure that there's back to school supplies, making sure that kids' birthdays are recognized. There oftentimes are gaps. What I believe that we want in our community, whether it be agencies, whether it be as an individual, whether it be the United Way, is that everyone has an opportunity to live their best life. And that's what we're all here about, is making sure that everyone has an opportunity to live their best life.
Donations to the United Way at the Tanana Valley go directly to supporting our community's essential organizations. Without your support, some of them wouldn't be here. But with your support, they're able to serve the interior, making our home a better place for all of us.
The donations that you make to the United Way of the Tanana Valley are amplified in our community by making sure they're allocated to those that need them the most.
Within a community, there are always going to be pockets of need. As a donor, it can be hard to identify who needs your donation most. That's where we come in. We keep our finger on the pulse of the interior, which allows us to help prioritize critical needs within our hometown. Through our member agencies, your donation is routed towards the people who need it most. For example, even $100 can mean 1 week of food, 3 nights in a shelter, or 4 days of childcare so someone can work to support their family. Another benefit to the funds allocated by the United Way is that they can be used however an organization needs. Grants, while helpful, are only able to be used in very specific ways. But your donation to the United Way of the Tanana Valley is able to be used in whatever way that organization needs. It's the most flexible source of funding for them and enables them to serve in their greatest capacity.
Where there's a need, the United Way is there to help. But it's only through your kindness and generosity that we can make it happen.
Our community is full of people like you,
who are eager to make a difference
and help support those around them.
It's this generosity
that makes the interior
a beautiful place to live,
work,
invest,
and raise our families.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So I am going to turn this over to Hannah. I think she may need a second to pop onto her cell phone. So I'm going to give her a second to do that. She is going to talk about the services that they provide, as well as then give us a tour. So. We can see you. You're on mute, but we see you.
There we are.
Hi, I'm back. So I'm going to give y'all a little tour of the soup kitchen. I hope you can hear me all right, because I don't know what's going on out here. I'm going to wear a mask to protect the other staff members. So, well, let's start back here. First off, I'd like you to meet Chef Marisa. Chef Marisa is our program manager for Stone's Throw. It's our culinary job training program. That's Marisa. She's awesome. Right now, she's working real hard on a fundraiser that we're running in-house called Sides and Pies. We're going to make sides and pies for Christmas. It's pretty great. Stone's Throw in non-pandemic times is run out of this classroom that you see behind me here. We usually have 6 to 8 students learning culinary job training and life skills. And we're going to talk about all these in particular, but to give you a context of where we're at before we talk about the programs. This is the main dining hall here at the soup kitchen. Right now it's set up in such a fashion as to be socially distant. So we have these X's on the floor that are 6 feet apart, so that when our guests come in the morning, they know where to stand to keep it safe. Everything is grab and go on these tables here. You can see sack lunches ready for tomorrow. Usually we have a little more staff on right now, but you get just me and a couple others today. One of the fun things that we've done recently is set up these photos in the back. Our guests took these photos, and then a local artist, Sarah Manriquez, blew them up, so we were able to have an in-house art show of our guests' art. We're going to walk over to the kitchen real quick, where I'd like you to meet Chef Danielle. Hello. Oh, yeah. There I am. That's Chef Danielle. Chef Danielle was our program manager before Marisa. Then she went to go stay with her family a little bit more. But then she still comes back to give Chef Matt, our regular soup kitchen, a little time off. So thank you.
Pretend I still know what I'm doing.
Woo. She does. She fed 85 people today a hot meal. Out of this is our kitchen. We did 85 hot meals and 89 lunches, I think. Yeah. And this is the grand tour, y'all. This is it. We do a lot out of a very small building. I wish we were able to take you over to see the garden, because that's something special. But otherwise, all of our programs work out of this kind of small space. And that's the tour. So I'm going to tag off just real quick, go back over to my desk, and we can talk about the programs a little bit more, and I'll answer any questions you have. Okay?
It really does blow me away when I see how small of a space they have to do as much incredible work as they do.
And to see that between 85 and 100 people are fed every single day, Monday through Friday there, I think it is absolutely incredible. And all of the things that they were able to do to mitigate COVID and ensure that people are still receiving services, I think is just an incredible asset. And it definitely speaks volumes to Breadline and Hannah and the team over there. I think that's amazing.
Absolutely. Oh, it looks like Hannah's back. I'm going to mute myself.
That's welcome to the big technology of a soup kitchen. It's me and a cell phone. Usually my admin's in, so this would be a little smoother, but thank you for your patience as we bumble our way through. So that's the Breadline, right? Folks do have some questions. You're welcome, Kim. Some folks do have some questions about, we'll just start at the beginning, our name, huh? So we are the Breadline. And the Breadline itself has 4 separate anti-hunger programs under that nonprofit umbrella. So we got a lot of names. We are probably most known for the Stone Soup Cafe, That is our soup kitchen. That started back in 1984 in a pretty different iteration than what we have now. Used to be just some concerned citizens with sandwiches in a backpack going around streets of downtown Fairbanks, handing out food to anyone that needed it. Those folks pretty rapidly discovered that the need was bigger than sandwiches out of a backpack. And so they partnered with a local church, were able to get into a space to actually make hot food, and then based almost all the way around volunteers for years and years. That's how it looked like. And then about 6 years ago, we partnered up with the city of Fairbanks and a church from the Pacific Northwest to help purchase the building that we're in now. So we actually own this building. We were able to have our own space. And when that happened, when the moment happened that we were able to have our own space safely, we were able to expand our programming out to serving more food at the soup kitchen, but also to have other anti-hunger programs, because we sort of believe in the, you feed a man a fish versus you teach a man to fish. We're just in the business of fish. In any way you got fish, we're going to deal with it. So soup kitchen going strong since 1984. This year has been by far the busiest year we've ever had. We are serving more food to more people. And that really was a couple months after the onset of the pandemic. We thought it was going to be right away, but interestingly, it was really around May that our numbers started to jump. That was also around the time that we started seeing a different subsect of people coming into the soup kitchen. It was folks that had been employed previously, but as the economy started to become a little unstable, the people that were already like borderline marginalized are the first ones that fall through the cracks, and we catch them. So yeah, we've been serving more food than ever before, using precautions around the pandemic. We have gone entirely to go. We're usually, in non-pandemic times, we sit down, we have meals together. Part of what we serve, we always joke, it's not just food around here, it's community also. So it's coming in, it's sitting down, it's having a cup of coffee, it's talking to someone that cares about you. And we still try and provide as much as that as possible, as safely as possible. The way that we're doing COVID precautions right now are informed in several different ways. Part of it was through the COVID response team at Fairbanks Memorial Hospital. Thank you so much to them. They helped us set up the precautions that we have, but also we talked to our guests and said, how do you want to be served? Like, what you need. How would you like us to continue this service? And what was broadly asked was that to do it this way. It's the same food in the same place from the same people, just served to go. So folks don't have to break a routine or figure out, going to a new place or whatever. So that's the soup kitchen right now. It was a real challenge at the beginning of the pandemic too, because most of our volunteers previously were elderly folks or folks with like pre-existing health conditions, which precluded them having a 9-to-5 job. So they would come and volunteer with us. So at the start of the pandemic, we asked them to step back because they're, precious to us, and we're not trying to get anybody in harm's way working here. So what we did have is this upswell of new folks coming and volunteering here, people that were perhaps furloughed, a lot of UAF staff over the summer when they had some downtime. They came here and just really helped keep us moving forward. So grateful to the community that keeps us going strong. So our other programs, less known perhaps out there, is Stone's Throw. You met Marisa. There's Marisa. Yeah. Program manager for Stone's Throw, which is a culinary job training program that also does a lot of life skills work. So part of what we figure is restaurant work largely cares a little less about your past if you show up and are really good at what you do. So we take folks who are looking to change their life in some way, to make a positive change, and to gain economic security in their life. A lot of the folks that we train here are just coming out of incarceration, overcoming addiction issues. They're people with mental health struggles in the past, any number of things coming down the pipe, which have made stumbling blocks for them to be able to have economic security in a way that is safe and good and their own. So we're trying to provide job skills, real-time job skills, because if you can go into a kitchen and Julie and a carrot like no one's ever seen, people take note. But we also teach life skills, because a lot of when you have addiction issues, when you've been incarcerated, you may have learned life skills that are not super applicable in the straight world. So what we do is just talk about anger management, accountability, timeliness, responsibility, and also how to talk through very trauma informed what we do here. So it's a way to process through where you've been and talk about how that doesn't reflect who you are or where you're going. So it's about, breaking down your own internal barriers to success if you don't think that you deserve it or are valued enough. So we're getting that out of there. We're showing you some real life skills and giving job skills at the same time. It is an incredibly successful program. Folks that graduate all the way through 2 tiers of our programs have it's not quite 100% employment rate, but it is very, very close. It is if everyone who wants to work can get a job afterwards, at least so far, this is how it's worked out. Because again, it's very dedicated people who are motivated to make a positive change in their life. They're there to do the work. We don't do any of that for them. We provide a resource. They do the work and they find the success afterwards. So a lot of our past grads right now have high caliber food related jobs in this town. It's so amazing to see them become properly paid chefs at the fancier restaurants in this town, or to work at the school district in nutrition services or whatever that is. And it's just showcasing that, where you come from is not as important as where you're going. That's what we believe in. In terms of community work, other things we do is we have a community garden. Everyone loves the Stone Soup Community Garden. That is at the corner of Noble and Lacey and 11th, generously donated by the Fairbanks Memorial Hospital Foundation. We use that land there as a community garden that's open and available to anyone who needs food, either to grow food or to eat food. Some of it is sectioned out as an eating garden, as we call it, which is the concept is just come and grab something. It's grown to be eaten, share as you want. Other plots are set up for folks that have experienced food insecurity, would like to grow their own food, but maybe don't have the space to do as such. A lot of times if you live in an apartment or in some sort of subsidized housing, you don't have space for a garden, or it's not safe enough to have there. So we provide these spaces. And what I love about the garden is we get volunteers who one day a week, you volunteer to water the whole garden. That way you have a lot more time in your life to be able to to have this be a choice. Because again, people living in deep poverty, that is a full-time job. If you are trying to scramble every day in order to just make ends meet, it is a real challenge. It's a luxury at this point in our society to grow your own food. That is a privilege. We want to help provide that. So we connect real closely with cooperative extension, with the master gardeners in this town, and we come and do little mini breakout workshops about how to plant, how to grow, how to harvest, all this. And also because the garden is watered, you only have to water one day a week. It's a lot more accessible for folks that may be pressed on time or have certain physical limitations around that kind of labor. We're just trying to break down as many barriers as possible in order for us all to benefit from working together. So that's what Stone Soup and Stone's Throw, all of our programs is about, is that we're stronger together. And if we work in that community collaboration, we can all do better than we do without. Our last official program that we have here is Kids Cafe, currently on hold because of a pandemic. It's one of my favorite programs though. That is a once a month family volunteering initiative. We get kids and families to come down here and we make food for the following week. Chef Matt, who you didn't get to meet today because he's on vacation, which is awesome. Chef Matt has a son, he's 12 now. But Chef Matt started here 6 years ago, and that's right around when Kids Cafe started because we're like, well, we got a single dad and we got a 6-year-old kid, so let's make a whole program around this. And Chef Matt and his son have run Kids Cafe in the 6 years since. Now Carter at 12 is doing knife skills workshops during Kids Cafe because we're cutting potatoes and we need to be safe about that. So I love it. Yeah, so we make sandwiches, we make cookies, we cut potatoes, do whatever vegetable prep, and it's we don't have an official program because again, it's kids and it's supposed to be fun. So it's more about a passive way of talking about food insecurity and what food insecurity looks like in our community. Because we don't all think about it in the same way. Some people think, someone doesn't have food, that means they're food insecure, which is true. But also, if you lived your whole life in a rural community and you come here into the city and you no longer have access to the foods that are important to you and important to you socially, that's also a type of food insecurity. It's a harm to a person, whether or not it's a literal hunger or if it's just sort of hunger of the spirit still is food insecurity. We're talking about how to make things, more equitable because we can. We also, with that, partner with the Children's Museum because, I was this kid, I was the weird introvert kid, and sometimes big groups are overwhelming. So we have like a little quiet craft corner in the side. So you can warm up if you need to do that, or if you get overwhelmed, you're able to go and just, sit and do a little bit of art. It's a lot of fun. Kids Cafe brings it out because, children are the future, no joke, right? And to see them be so engaged and so caring, like, I don't know. Yeah, the kids are all right is what I'm saying. So I miss Kids Cafe. We do that from Labor Day to Memorial Day. We do it through the winter when it's cold outside. And in the summertime, we go over to the garden. Instead of being inside, we talk about harvesting. We'll do ladybug releases. It's a lot of fun. So that currently is on hold, but our other programs are running still. We also work collaboratively in our community in a number of other ways. They're not official programs, but we work with Access Alaska, and we're working on building some programming with them right now about general life skills, how to cook in your own kitchen. We also partner with the Fairbanks Youth Facility and go over there again in non-pandemic times and teach the kids who are currently incarcerated over there some light cooking skills and some life skills, but don't tell them that. Amongst other things, you also can see us at the farmers markets. We do Chef at the Market at both Tanana Valley and the Southside Community Market, making really fun summer foods with seasonal vegetables. It's a lot of fun. And we hope we get to do that next year because it was sort of a lonely summer not being able to get out there and see our favorite Fairbanksans. So it's a lot of me talking, hopefully not too fast. I know I have a tendency to do that. But if you got some questions, I'm here to answer them.
Hannah, there's a question in the chat. There's a question in the chat by Matthew asking if there's any partnership between CTC's culinary program and could they pursue a certificate or degree in conjunction with your culinary program?
It's not like an official partnership, but we love Chef Sean. And Chef Sean loves us. We know that to be true. So what we do have is a pretty good pipeline up to the culinary program. We've had several of our students go that route afterwards. Our program doesn't go as deep as the culinary program does specifically, but it's a really great building block to build the sort of self-esteem that people need to know that they can go to UAF. A lot of the folks that come through our culinary programs don't think that they can or don't think that they deserve to go to higher education. So part of what we do on that is talk to them about how to go, how to apply, who to talk to, and making connections. Because again, it's about their labor. But that's it. So we've had some folks come through the culinary program and they love it. They love it. And they've helped us with like fundraising and stuff. We've done a lot of collaborations, but in terms of education, not directly.
Great, Hannah. This is Matthew.
Hi.
That's really exciting, and I just wanted to emphasize, UAF's role in the community. It's really, I don't know, it's really exciting to hear how you can tap into a group that maybe wouldn't pursue the programs at CTC or at the university, but anything like I guess I can't speak for the whole institution, but I know my opinion is that we want to have an opportunity to engage with everybody, and especially individuals like that. I think emphasizing one of the things is that our population is not necessarily a traditional kind of student. Like we have a lot of people who are coming back to re-educate or to educate for the first time at a later time in their life, with the challenges of having kids and other life challenges as well. And so I just wanted to emphasize that it sounds like you're already kind of have a connection, but anything that we can do to broaden or strengthen that connection, I think we would love to do that.
I think that sounds great. Matthew, are you with CTC specifically, or was that?
No, I'm actually with, I actually work in housing on campus, but I do a lot with staff council. And so
okay.
I kind of have my like advocacy hat on a lot of the time. And so anyways, I just see an opportunity there, and I'm happy to connect you with people or be an advocate for you if maybe you're having trouble connecting with somebody.
I would love that. I think it could be a good connection between the two. I mean, again, that's a Chef Marisa situation specifically, but I do think that would be a good connection to make. Perhaps to do. We do a lot of again in non-pandemic times, field trips, and that's how we sort of assure jobs for folks. Not ensure. Again, they do the labor. I do not want to pretend otherwise, right? But we take them around to restaurants, they meet the owners, they meet the chefs. So when they come back later in order to, apply for a job, they've already been seen there, right? They already know their way around, they know who to ask for. And I feel like, honestly, going to UAF is the same way. I will tell you, Matthew, I was a non-traditional student at UAF also, coming back when I was like 35 or something, 32, I don't even know. And that I see like the daunting nature of it. And part of it is just sort of making it be a more familiar place. So are you scared to go out for the job you thought you couldn't get? Let's just take you into the kitchen. Are you scared to try out for higher education? Let's get a name of someone for you to actually talk to say like, we got you. So yeah, if you have some connections that way, I think that'd be a very positive way for us to fold into that program. Because why not?
Great. Yeah, I think I'll follow up with you and get some more information, but that sounds great. Thank you, Hannah.
Please, and thank you. Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah, it is. Hannah, can you talk to us about how you guys receive the food that you're able to then get out to folks in the community?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess it's a little different now. Normally, most of the food that we serve is donated. We work real closely with the Fairbanks Community Food Bank and also the cafe at the Fairbanks Memorial Hospital. So we do food reclamation with the hospital's cafe, and then regular donations from the food bank. So that is largely the bread and butter of how we serve food from the soup kitchen. In the pandemic, that food line became really unstable. And in fact, right now, from January to now, we're down 25% in food taken from those places while being 25% over our normal food service amounts. It's been kind of an intense thing. We are, part of the United Way, and what I'm grateful for there is, here's one of my new favorite stories of this year is when we were filming that little video that y'all just watched. At the very end of there, chef pulled out a rack of chickens and was like, just kind of said out loud, he was like, well, that's the last protein in the house. And we were like, oh, well, lentils it is forever, I guess. And upon hearing that, Sarah contacted Jennifer. Jennifer ended up showing up with like, I don't know, an armload of frozen chicken, like a literal armload of frozen chicken, so that we had protein for the next day, but also encouraged us to try out for a United Way grant that was able to get us emergency food relief money that we were able then to just go purchase food, because we have really strong, like our community really supports us. Like, absolutely. These are extraordinary times, right? Our community supports us entirely. But with our disrupted food lines, we were struggling to keep food in, like the walk-in was bare. It was scary, to be honest, right? And then the United Way swoops in not only with literal chickens for the day, but also for the capacity to purchase food as we needed it. And it was just mind-blowing. So that's still right about where we're at now. We do write some grants. We do work around this because currently we have to purchase food. For the first time in the 36 years of the Breadline, we're having to buy food because the food donations are down, need is up. We are reestablishing ways that we get food, but everything's kind of, we're building this plane while it's flying, all of us collectively. We do work with Chartwell some. Matthew, I see your question there. And they've helped us in the past. It's not a regular thing. It is like sort of they'll come down, and they worked real closely with students the past 2 years. So if they had any money left over on their munch money or whatever this is called, and then they would put it into a fund that Chartwell's then could buy food bulk with, like the leftover funds from the students, a student donation. And then Chartwell's was able to funnel that. So maximizing the donation in the best possible way to get us exactly what we needed. And then during the shutdown, Chartwell's also brought us a lot of food that would have otherwise gone, like the initial shutdown, that would have gone to waste. They're very much on, they think of us often. We're grateful. Yeah.
Other questions folks have for Hannah?
I just got some raw numbers for y'all. If you're interested in that, I forgot to give you my data with my storytelling. So between January of this year and November of this year, the Breadline, with all our programs combined, has served 67,418 meals this year, which is a bit more than usual. We also work over with Housing First, if you're familiar with them. It's through Tanana Chiefs, and it's a program that gets folks off the street so that they're able to look into their addiction issues. It's a great science-based program that we love. So we do lunch and dinner with them on a contract. It's part of one of the ways that we make money is earned income contract. So we did over 20,000 meals with them this last year. Yeah. So Stone Soup itself did 22,160 hot meals and 25,158 lunches. That's January to November. So yeah, we knocked last year's numbers out of the water sometime in October. So
Wow.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
I would encourage everybody to follow Breadline on Facebook. Every day, Hannah and her team post what they served that day and how many sack lunches they served. I think if there's needs they have, you can also follow them for, like she said, the pie and sides fundraiser that they're doing, which is incredible. So I would really, really, really encourage everybody to follow them on Facebook, because they are, I think, out of every agency we work with, they seem to be the most active and on there. And so it's always really neat to see. So
I just joke that we're a content machine. You know, all we have is chefs making delicious looking food in a bunch of different ways. Everyone wants to see this. And like the donations that come in, we're also on Instagram. So follow us on social medias.
So, real quick, before I forget, Courtney, Matthew, and Angela, the three of you are today's lucky United Way t-shirt swag merch winners. So if you guys can email Jeannie your t-shirt size, kind of when everything is wrapped up, we will be making a delivery up to either Jeannie or Marcia if she's back or whoever. And so they'll get shirts to you guys. So I think we actually might be out of here a few minutes early. I real quick am going to go through sharing the screen with you guys again for the UAF Pledge Page. I believe everybody can see it. So if not, I think you all should have the link, but unitedwaytv.com/UAF is your guys's UAF online pledge page. You have all of the prizes that you could potentially win for donating, in addition to that extra entry for one airline ticket. I believe, and Jeannie, if you want to pop in real quick so that I'm not incorrect, but I think it's today at noon that the cutoff is for these prizes. Is that correct?
I think it's tomorrow. Let me look real quick. Carla posted it.
Which is today.
Oops, that is today. You're right.
Okay. Sorry,
4 p.m.
Heidi.
today.
4 p.m. Okay. And so if you guys can help get the word out, folks can donate anytime they want to. But in order to be in the drawings for these prizes, the cutoff is today. So I just don't want anyone to think if they miss it, that they can't donate any other time. It's just for those prizes. So next, we have our video on here. Feel free to watch it again. Feel free to share it. And then this orange box right here is the new piece that we just really want to make sure we get out to all UA employees This click here now is a hyperlink that goes to an admin page. We don't have access to it. And it's the way that the university system can ensure if you're doing a payroll deduction that they have your permission to in fact deduct your paycheck. So please make sure that you fill that out. As I've said before, January 1st is when those payroll deductions will start. So please do not pick a date before January 1st. And please do not pick more than 26 pay periods, as that will put us into the next campaign year. So if there's any mistakes though, just know that we will fix it and connect with you and the UA system. So you can select your gift amount. The other tab is the drop down. You can put in whatever amount you should choose. And then the only other thing that we've added to your page is the UA employee ID number. Please make sure that you have your ID number on there again, so that they're just sure that they are connecting your donation with the correct person. So that is the online page. And I guess before we wrap up, does anyone have any thoughts, questions?
So just clarification on, we have to fill out that employee information thing to get it payroll deducted. We don't just say payroll deducted on the sheet there. We have to do two things.
Yeah, so I think in years previous, it was just that payroll deduction. But when
Right.
Marcia and I were kind of getting everything set up, it sounded like it was essentially, it's like a signature for
Okay.
you guys. So yes.
And we don't want to start it till after January. Is that what you said?
Yeah, if you're doing a payroll deduction, if you want to do a one-time credit card donation or a check donation, you can do that at any time. But for the payroll deduction itself, that cannot start until January 1st through UAF.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys, I am not hearing anything else. I'm actually kind of bummed that this is our last presentation with you guys. I think for me, it has just been incredible to get to know you all as employees at UAF. For those of you who have attended more than one, I'm now recognizing your names and your faces, and I cannot put into words how much it means to us that you guys are taking all of this time out of your incredibly busy schedules to join us and to learn about our agencies. My last reminder before we hang up is to follow us as well, and also connect with the Volunteer Action Center and help us get the word out about that. It's something at United Way we are incredibly proud of, and having the ability to connect our community with volunteer needs in our community is a huge part of who we are and what we do. So be on the lookout for that and help us spread the word. Thank you, everybody, and I hope you have a safe and wonderful holiday season. And we are here. If you have any questions, feel free to call or email. We're working semi-remotely. I've been kind of in and out of the office. And so even if we're not here, we can get any voicemails you guys might leave on our emails. So thank you again. It means a lot.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Hannah.